Good morning and welcome to this morning's reflection. Paul writes in Romans 7, "What I do not understand about myself after all is that I decide one way, but then I act another, doing things I absolutely despise." I think it's safe to say that we all know this feeling. We have the best of intentions, and yet so often we fail to carry out those intentions. It seems that somehow we keep sabotaging our best intentions. He goes on to say, "I can will it, but I cannot do it." Then he says, "Something has gone wrong deep within me, and it gets the better of me every time." Paul goes on to remind us that it is Jesus who enables us to overcome our inability to carry out our best intentions. But here is where we make a mistake. We think Jesus strengthens our willpower to brutally overcome our desires to do what we know we should not do. So we still rely on our will. We are doing it. And we believe that Jesus is strengthening our will to do better, strengthening our will to force down these desires that we should not have. But our desires are still there. We just put a lid on them. But anything that we force down, even when we're strengthened by Jesus, will find a way. And somewhere, this desire will have its way with us. And it will explode. Let's say, for example, on a very frivolous note, we don't want to eat a piece of chocolate cake, and it's there, luscious, just inviting us. And we say to ourselves, "No, I will not eat that cake. I do not want that cake." And you can suppress that desire for chocolate cake for a while. And eventually, that desire breaks out and you eat 6 pieces of chocolate cake. Well, I do. When we try to will ourselves into sticking to our good intentions, eventually we crumble. Because the mind finds a way to justify our crumbling. Our decision to go ahead and eat the cake. It says things like, "Oh, you've had a bad day. You deserve this cake." Or, "You haven't had cake for 4 days. Of course you can have a piece of cake now." Or, "No, don't worry to pray today. You prayed yesterday. You're tired today. God will understand." And of course, all of these thoughts, all of these voices are deeply deceptive. So we have to realize that the will is weak and we cannot rely on it. We have to rely on something much deeper than willpower. We have to surrender our will to God. And we do that by becoming present to Jesus, who is with us in the moment of our decision. Another, silly example is I find it difficult to resist anything that's sweet and sugary, anything that's chocolatey and sweet and delicious. But if a friend says to me, "Do you really need to eat that?" That question draws me into an awareness of my behavior and I can say no. So just having someone alongside me to ask me, is this really wise, helps me to say no. No, I don't need to eat that. And Jesus can be that friend. All we need do when the desire comes to do whatever it is we are trying not to do, a good thing is not to push the desire down, but welcome it in and look at it in the presence of Christ. And then delay responding. Simply look at your desire and try to understand it and say to Jesus, okay, I won't do this thing for 3 minutes. Don't say I'm never going to do it. Just, I won't do it for 3 minutes. And then you wait. So you just won't eat the cake for 3 minutes. And you watch your desire. And you just let it be there, like a little gremlin. And this time gap is helpful. You're able to see the voice that is trying to justify this sabotage. And you know enough not to believe the voice that is trying to get you to follow your desire. And you simply wait with God. And very often, having given the desire over to God, it dissolves. And after 3 minutes, if it has not gone away, we do another 3 minutes. So what you have done is given yourself time to surrender to God's wisdom and God's transforming light. Our quiet, deep awareness invites the Spirit into us, into the space to transform our desires. And in time, the desire for whatever it might be is simply no longer there. Not because we overcame it by mere willpower, but because God transformed our desires from within. Remember this. Don't kill the frog, kiss it, and then it will turn into something beautiful. So when faced with a sabotaging desire or desires, remember to kiss them and watch God transform you and them. May you be blessed today. Amen.